Today's episode of the Federation's Finest podcast is brought to you by The House, the feature film, now streaming on Tubi. After a freak accident and a night out drinking leaves two of their friends dead, the lives of 6 teens are changed forever with the discovery of a mysterious revive serum that can bring one of their dead back to life, but only one. Now torn into multiple groups and fighting amongst each other, these teens must decide who they are, what they believe in, and what truly is the value of a life. Stream The House, directed by Miles Ross, now on Tubi for free, or head to thehousefeature.com or at thehousefeature on Instagram to learn more. That is thehousefeature.com or at thehousefeature on Instagram to learn more. Hello and welcome to the Federation's Finest. Sick man, sick man, sick man. I'm your host, Miles. I'm a filmmaker from Seattle, but I'm also a big mech fan. I grew up on Gurren Lagann. I'm currently watching through Gal Geiger and Padalabor with my brother, but I'm a die-hard Gundam fan at heart. With this show, I'm here to lead 3 Gundam newbies through the series and see if we can figure out what this giant robot thing is all about. We'll be covering this series in my own special order, emulating but not quite following the experience of discovering the show on Toonami or the internet in the early 2000s. On today's episode, we're covering Gundam the 8th MS Team. I almost forgot the name of the movie. Miller's Report, the movie, as well as episodes 9 and 10 of the OVA on Hulu. If you want to watch along with us, you should go watch those. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Besides me, we've also got...
I'm Tom. I believe that Zeke jet fuel cannot melt steel beams, and I am your resident tinfoil hat wearing theorist.
All right.
All right. Name's Leo. I'm your local space cowboy. I'm one of said Gundam newbies. I don't know much about the show, but I dig some giant fighting robots. And I'm getting into the models. So, you know, I'm here to watch these two go at it and stir the pot when I can.
Love it.
And I'm Kenneth or Kenny. I'm kind of familiar with the Gundam universe. It's been pretty interesting so far, and I always thought the Zeon designs were pretty bad, but I'm kind of warming up to their designs now.
Sweet. Hey,
We'll have words later.
Gundam-wise, not all the other weird the designs, not the functionality of them.
Yeah, right. Leave that for Tom. Tom's got that base covered.
thank y'all for being here. Some house cleaning tips just off the bat. To start off, apologies on one very big thing that I've led y'all astray. Through in the previous episodes of the 8th MS Team, running off of memory, I said that this show was taking place in Jaburo the entire time, which is in South America. It's implied to be like Brazil or like the jungles of central Brazil, South America in general. That was incorrect. The show takes place ambiguously in Southeast Asia, so
all that.
Yeah, Philippines, Thailand,
non-vibes.
Khmer culture, Vietnam vibes for the most part. It moves to Jaburo for this second half of the show after the movie, Miller's Report. That is on me. Sorry, I was running off of raw memory. We are now for episodes 9 and 10 in Jaburo, partially in South America or near Jaburo, where the Federation base underground is and where McGillis's base is. But we'll get to that during the episode. Also, if I seem a little weird today, forgive me. Had a bit long day. And actually, kind of in relation to things you'll see now on this podcast, episode 8 of Gundam G-Quux, which is the anime that is currently running right now. It is June 3rd, 2025, as we're recording this, just aired. And that episode recontextualizes a lot of things, including what we're just watching now. And yes, I said it was not connected to this. I don't know if it is now. Without giving away spoilers, because you guys are very far away from even touching that show, probably. Today, me and my brother saw the equivalent of hopping in a time machine to the Cretaceous period, and then you see Jesus Christ, Buddha, and Vishnu riding velociraptors, and they turn to you and they're like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's very fascinating. I hope you all be able to enjoy it sometime soon. The Gundam community is watching that show continue on Twitter has been great. But getting down to business, we are going to start with not episode 9 of the 8th MS team, the recap movie, but also with essential information, Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, Miller's Report, which aired August 1st, 1998. The show started in 1996.
Bro, I was like 3 days old. Let's go.
I was a negative a year old. How do y'all want to start?
The heaviest use of diegetic dramatic lightning I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, just the entire time.
Like, the first of, like, you're under trial for espionage. Lightning!
Yeah, so we get this.
Like,
yeah, sorry.
Several times.
We get
was incredible.
to see.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk over you. I just, yeah, I'm being dumb. We open the show with Shiro on trial, and we get to see Kojima, and we get to see, and I didn't catch his name last time, Commander Kojima's superior, a Supreme Officer Ryer. And Shiro is on trial for something called treason, which used to exist, but I guess it doesn't anymore. I don't know. We have to see if Shiro's text message emails leaked. But what do y'all think of that?
I mean, that was recap. Yeah.
He was like a mostly nothing burger of a movie.
Yeah, the movie, because I texted Miles immediately after, like, this would have come out in the gap between the airings. But, like, it's the 3 episodes you need really to understand the story so far, other than the first one. Yeah. Like, there's references you get all the information you need if you're just jumping into the show, and then there's an episode's worth of new material.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
There is legitimate new footage. I'm screaming.
Yes, and our new footage is mainly headlined by I'm calling her Blonde Karen.
Yeah, her name is Alice Miller. So.
Yeah, but her introduction is like, do what I tell you, throw stuff, which is basically the same as Karen's introduction.
Yeah.
Well, we get to see the destroyed Osprus remains. Like, the Federation got what was
I did
left
forget
of the
that.
Osprus. Yeah. And while these guys are like dealing with Shiro's trial, a lady in what looks like business attire and blonde hair, named Alice Miller shows up, and she is a Federation intelligence officer who's like, "Yeah, Shiro, you may have committed high treason. Let's talk about that."
Well, I also love that she's like, you're on trial and I'm here to get the story, and then he just tells her everything.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
Which I do have a question. Is it just a stylistic choice, or is there a reason that he looks straight up drugged and hypnotized anytime we have a close up on his face?
Yeah, I think that may just be an art.
Insinuated, kind of.
Yeah. Like a drug or smoke while she's smoking, probably. Who knows?
His hands are still burnt up from getting hypothermia and dipping them in water immediately when he was in the mountains.
Yeah.
So
surprise.
Wild choice, bud.
I also love, just obviously I am not in military intelligence or the military whatsoever, not claiming that. Just from stuff I've read and me as a civilian being fascinated by it, she totally pulls off in this initial sequence the good cop, bad cop thing where she's like, "Hey, listen, I'm just here to get the story out of you straight. Like, I don't know if you did this, I don't know if you didn't." And then he gives her a little bit of information. She's like, "Yeah, that's what I thought, you bastard." Like, the turn, the heel turn is great.
Yeah, no, she was fun. I did enjoy her more in the beginning than the end. You got a lot of funny texts from me about her at the end of that movie.
Oh yeah. She proceeds to lead him through this, basically just a recap of the episodes, and we get to see Aina and them in space through the mountain stuff and everything, and
I did notice one interesting side character thing. I'm not sure if it was the recap or new stuff, but the other four were drinking together.
Hey.
Karen had whiskey, and she was like more than halfway through the bottle. Trigger Happy Trevor had sake that it looked like that he was just nursing, and then Sanders had like easily over a dozen beers.
Sanders is a heavyweight.
Yeah, just going hard.
I did not even pick up on that. You're better than me.
And then when, after more recap, Shiro doing his little for peace speech and everyone laughing at him again, Alice brings up the whole like theme of, I'm not sure, like it's probably gonna be of the show, but definitely of this little movie, is like compassion is weakness. Shiro's got to prove her wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, after she does the full, like, bad cop switch up, the big thing I noticed is that she has some sort of chip on her shoulder regarding Zeon. Like, she hates them more than, like, a lot of these guys do. Apparently more than Shiro does, as we'll see in the ensuing episodes. But, she has a little bit of a personal vendetta, and I know they're kind of doing like the hard ass military woman thing here, but there is a character, and this is gonna make no sense to y'all till we get to it. So ping me when we get to Zeta Gundam, and like halfway through, ping me about this. There is another character in Zeta Gundam, which was made before this, who is an intelligence like espionage specialist, who is also like a like tough independent woman. And part of me wonders if Alice was supposed to be her, because she was operating around this time as part of Earth Federation at this time. And I'm wondering if they changed it at the last second. She's a member of the main crew. Whether or not that is true, I have no evidence of. I have not read the Sunrise production docs, and I don't think there's any evidence of that. But it's very fascinating, because you do usually see Gundam characters just pop up in places. But Alice is she's getting the information out of him, and it's not until about the last 20 minutes of the show that we get the new footage, right?
Yeah, and that's when a lot of my notes for this start.
Okay, sorry, keep on going.
No, I mean, we get the recap of the Zeon harassing Kiki's village, and then I have a bit down of just like, hey, you guys fabricated orders, you're in trouble. But, I mean, you killed a lot of Zeke, so, yeah, you're all right. You know what? We forgive you.
Does that say anything about the nature of this war to you, or do you think it's...
Yeah, because the reward is, now you need to prove you're not spies and traitors like we think you are, so go on a suicide run behind enemy lines. Have fun.
Good luck, champ.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Elidor is straight back, just kicked out of the back of a Jeep by quote-unquote buddies.
Yeah,
so,
it
definitely feels like meat for the grinder.
Elidor's back in, which means at least some time has passed, right? Do you guys think they have, like, advanced healing? Like, do you think there's, like, Star Wars Halo-style healing pods in this world? Or do you think it's normal?
No.
Okay.
No,
I don't think we've got back to tanks or anything. Like,
Gotcha.
I mean, at most we've got like a quick sealing wound gel, I'd say.
Yeah,
if that.
He's out of this combat, and this is just me as like a prior music student who became a filmmaker. I love the little 8th MS theme. Da na 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 na. That is the outro theme of the show. I don't have the name here, but it plays that little jingle a bit when Elidor comes back after he getting kicked out the Jeep, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a nice little the crew's back together is what that kind of musically communicates to me, and he's still his old goofy self.
But yeah, still missing all the cues from Karen.
Oh yeah,
all of them.
Every single one.
They have. We'll get into it in the other episodes. Their whole relationship is so hilarious to me because in any other work environment, that's just borderline sexual harassment. It honestly is. But yeah, the crew's back, and before the episode ends, Shiro gets a gun pulled on him.
Yeah, that's when I started texting you of just, wow, Alice is really horny for killing Nazis.
Jesus.
Yeah, her tone changed real quick.
They all have to die. If it's a Xeon, they have to die. I'm like, okay.
Chill.
Do you think this is just general like wartime, like she takes her job seriously, or do you feel like something happened here?
No, because she mentions it, that like the reason for the chip on her shoulder of Shiro calls her on it of like, oh, you were the one who, like from the story she told before, like you're the one who trusted the Xeon and got burned. It's like, yeah, obviously.
No shit.
Yeah, so now she's just wiped them out.
Jesus.
This scene really had me laughing where they're doing their whole it's compassion is weakness versus Shiro being like, no, the enemy's a person too, and also my friends are here. And behind him is just all the 8th MS, and she just like, what do I do? The power of friendship.
It's so strong.
Damn it.
That is great. It had me laughing.
That's that one thing, because there's that famous meme. I have the shot there. There's that famous meme of the Gundam firing, and someone's like, oh yeah, robots are cool, and then you get like war is bad, and it's like the person missed the point of like what Gundam's about. If you look in general, this is just parodied, and it's like, no, it actually gets a little bit more deeper than that. You'll see as we watch the show.
Yeah.
But it always a little bit returns to that cycling in on itself or contrasting itself, or like, no, war is bad. There's a billion different versions of that image if you go to Google. But you do get our nice statistic like, oh yeah, you know, my friends, you get your nice stereotypical anime, the power of friendship will lead me through. Team Guru and Team Daiguren, we can do this.
I mean, that's why I call him Edson Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like he is that just 90s cartoon, just I'm gonna get it done because I'm the good guy.
Leo, later on,
I'm the big hero.
that bottom one's for you and Tom. I know both of y'all are Warhammer people. There's a billion different versions of it. But yeah, and our scene our movie ends, mostly recap. It's only 51 minutes, by the way, which at least for a recap movie, I'll appreciate. Kenny, you and me and Tyler watched that Goblin Slayer movie that was like 60 minutes of old material, and then the last 40 minutes of just new stuff, which that was something back in the day. But our story ends with them all going off on this special super secret mission to save the day, as Miller is looking off on the sky, and we get a nice 90s anime song, which I really like your the vibes of this movie. This does not feel like a movie I'd go and see in theaters, but this feels like something that totally, if this came on Toonami in like 2005, I'm like awake at like midnight for some reason. I'd like totally having good memories as a little kid of watching this. And all,
yeah, I mean, if this was a standalone episode, I would have been all for it.
Yeah. If this aired as like
absolutely.
a Cartoon Network cartoon movie like special thing, I'd be loving it. And all the promo for the DVDs is really cool because it's Miller like with the 8th MS team like projected behind her, and she's standing in front of the projections. Like this whole movie is her. It's called Miller's Report. It's her report to the Earth Federation of like, all right, are we giving Shiro the clear, or are we executing him? And I really like that. Any last notes on Miller's Report, guys, before we move on?
Nope.
No.
All good.
All good. Oh, hey, war is bad. That may just have to be the thumbnail of this episode. We move on to Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, Episode 9 Frontline. And if I may make a comment before we start off, this is no shade to the prior production team or director or any of the work that they did before. In retrospect, looking back on this, I go back and forth between is the first half of the show better or is the second half of the show better? Because I've seen this many times. Right now, I'm really excited for the latter half of this show just because I didn't remember it as well, and we'll get to it, but a certain mech shows up that's my favorite. But yeah, we open on episode 9 Frontline, and things are taking place.
Things are happening.
Yeah, well, we start with a simulation with some Earth Federation ships. Like
start with space battle.
Yeah, space battle of what it would be like to fight the friggin' Osprey, and it does not look like it's going.
It does not end well.
Yeah, but first, designs.
I
initially didn't like the Zeke design, but then I realized, like, no, the Enterprise did the engines on separate struts thing. That's fine.
Yes.
I do prefer the Federation ships because they have, like, their guns are, like, mounted in a structural way that makes sense instead of along this weird command banana boat thing.
Yeah.
But beam weaponry in space would be so much more effective than whatever the Zeke are doing.
So if you got like, a sec for me, keep talking. I'm trying to find the names of the clip.
But
so
I'm curious how fast the Osprey is going. They mentioned Mach 11, but that's in atmosphere. Because it, like, perspective-wise, it comes zooming through those spaceships that are presumably moving at spaceship speeds in orbit, and it just right through them.
Yeah, so the Xeon, the Federation ship is called the Salamis. It is the Salamis class ship.
Yes.
This is
it looks like a wet Navy battleship.
Yeah,
like, it's cool.
This is what you will see in most Gundam space fights. That is the go-to Gundam ship for the Earth Feds. I
like those little ball turrets on the front, actually.
Yeah,
those are cool.
And
sorry, in the middle top there. Like,
yeah.
Those are cool.
I may be getting that confused just on look with the other Federation ship, which is the Magellan
No, it was that one. It was the bottom one.
Yeah, it is the Magellan class ship, which is going to get very confusing because there's the Magellan attack, but which is not Federation. But yeah, the Magellan class ship, its big thing is that it has twin mega particle gun cannons on the top. So the same Minovsky particle engine that is in the mobile suits, there is a very big one on these ships that can fire, and that is the twin to the Xeon ship, which is called the Musai class, if I am correct, which is right here on the bottom, which is also another very, very big cruiser.
Is that also a particle cannon then?
All of the ships. Okay, so we dropped it before. I said it before in the prior notes. Ships had beam weaponry prior to.
Okay.
So every single ship has an engine that can produce Minovsky beam weaponry. Not all mobile suits can. So yeah, everything you see here on the Musai class or the Magellan class or the Salamis class it has beam weaponry. Yeah, same twin mega particle cannon there, and just differing armaments depending on it. And there is always a billion different versions of these ships that we can go into with different serial and model numbers, but we won't go into those today. But yeah, we get to see a friggin' the Osprey just friggin'.
Yeah. So for perspective, the F-22 Raptor top speed is Mach 2.2. SR-71 Blackbird, at least as fast as they'll let us know it flies, it cruises at Mach 3.2. The Osprey is going Mach 11.
Yeah.
This thing is gone.
Like,
Guineas,
that is insanely fast.
Say what you want about Guineas. Good at his job.
Also chest cannon.
Yep.
Chest.
I did like that that was all a simulation, which is the sci-fi movie equivalent of a dream sequence.
Yes.
Right. Those are very interesting.
Peep in my notes, and when we get back to the ground,
Tanks.
Yeah, tanks.
Tanks.
Destroys this whole underground base. And before we get to the tanks and the simulation, we get to meet two people, one that we've met before and one that we've talked a little bit before. Would you like to cover the tanks first? Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Well, I mean, they're just the proper double barrel tanks, and except for that just crazy abomination amalgamation of nonsense landship thing that you couldn't find a name for.
Yeah, I can't find the name for that still.
I paused on that for a full 15 seconds and just pondered.
I
Pondered it.
I'm on the wiki right now, and I'm specifically on the page for the 8th MS team. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, and I cannot find it.
It's clearly a hover tank. Like, there's no treads. It looks like kind of a frill around the bottom like you would expect a hovercraft to have. Yeah. And then it has full-on battleship cannons on it, just pointing all over, and just big lumpy windows, compartments, things.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, man. It was big. It sure did something.
Damn right it did.
It's mobilized here because they're like, yeah, we gotta move because that Osprey thing is strong, and we meet two people, and I'm just to encourage some discussion here right now. Their names are Kojima, who is the 8th MS team's direct reporting CO, and the guy to his right, his name is Ryer. He's one of the supreme commanders here, and they mention something that they're like, damn, somebody named Commander Revel and his Antarctic Treaty. Do you guys have any thoughts about who this Revel is? I'll let you know Revel is a Earth Federation's officer. What do you think?
I totally missed that.
Yeah. I got the episode here right there. It's about 2 minutes, 94 seconds if you want to try playing it. I know that website's a little weird. They're like, damn, Revel and his Antarctic Treaty. Does anyone have any thoughts about what this Antarctic Treaty could be, or why that poses a problem for them, or that the Federation and Xeon have some sort of treaty in the first place?
Probably like how we have the Geneva Convention.
Yeah,
type.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because as we see in later episodes, war crimes are very much committed.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I mean, Antarctica would be a neutral ground for I'm assuming two off-world forces.
Or all sides of Earth.
Sense. Yeah, or all sides of just, hey, everybody come down here.
We'll duke it out.
We'll hash out the rules of this slugfest.
Gotcha.
Antarctica just turns into Modern Warfare 2's Rust.
You think Antarctica is just where you can... Do you think it's for testing things? Do you think it's for negotiating? Is it like...
It's where men settle business.
Gotcha.
Okay, here's something that I don't know if it's quite yet. Is this what... Are they already sending people into the mountains? Is this right before or after Norris just goes off? This is grapple hook.
This is before. This is
later.
This is later in the episode. This is the 8th MS team with dealing with Guineas in the GA pilot here in a little bit, which we'll talk about. But
where's
this is the suicide mission essentially.
Yeah, this is episode 9. I put it there in general. But
where's the bit where they're just sending GMs into the mountain?
That's episode 10.
I believe that's
in 10.
10. Yeah.
Because in 9 we're...
Oh, yeah. That's what I was
looking for. Yeah, but we get to see a core booster, several core boosters blast off into the sky, and we learn that they have a mole in the team to make sure Shiro isn't a traitor. And I can't tell by the tone exactly.
It's so obviously Sanders the moment they say.
It's obviously Sanders. They fade transition to him. What I mean is I can't tell if the show is trying to make it seem like the military is being overbearing. In my personal opinion, yes. This kid slept with a Xeon.
He literally slept with the enemy.
Yes. You absolutely want Sanders to be there keeping tabs on him. And something I really love here in this scene too is as the pilots are like teasing Shiro, like, yeah, you friggin' traitor, how are we supposed to trust you? Sanders is like, hey, the guy who is supposed to be keeping tabs on them is like, dudes, leave him alone. Legit. Sanders probably does not think that Shiro is a traitor, almost certain.
He definitely doesn't. He announces it numerous times.
Yeah. We also go on, sorry.
Sorry, another just writing cliche during that mission brief with Shiro up on the board. It's like, it's just recon. We're not going to be doing any fighting. It's like, you know you're going to be fighting immediately.
Chekhov, what are you doing with that gun?
Yes. Yeah. the other thing I love is obviously it's him being horrible, but besides whatever Karen and Elidor got going episode, him being like, oh man, you got some Xeon syringe, man, all the nurses in the hospital were fat as heck, bro. He's like, oh man, you're never change, Elidor, please do, actually. But they drop in on this
drop.
They drop in and there's a Ga immediately behind them. That is the big Xeon stealth carrier that we talked about last episode.
I like it.
Yeah. It looks very.
It looks like a C-130 had a baby with a B-2 stealth bomber. Yeah, I like it.
Well, I mean, is the one thing that Xeon got good in terms of aerodynamics was the friggin' Ga.
Their transport isn't just a giant flying box.
Yeah. But Karen drops in first and immediately starts like praying, like, oh, I'm about to be with my dead husband soon. And we get, and sorry boys, I've been waiting all episode to do this. The introduction of perhaps one of my favorite mobile suits in all of Gundam. EZ8, 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 EZ8. They don't say the name straight off, but the new mobile
the one
suit
that looks like a unicorn
that Shiro is piloting is called the RX-79G EZ8. Before I say anything, immediate thoughts. You guys can look at the wiki. You probably shouldn't read too much on there, but immediate thoughts on it. Just we'll see more of it obviously in the next episode, but
got big ass feet.
No, it doesn't have any. It has no eyebrow horns anymore.
Yeah,
big ass antenna.
If you want to play that video on mute, feel free. It is do you believe it is new or do you believe it is old?
It looks older.
Okay.
Older based on a later episode. That's just me, though.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts about it?
It's cool.
So, you all fail. The EZ8 is not actually a new mobile suit. So, do you remember Shiro's RX-79 that got lost in the mountains when he was dealing with Aina?
Yeah.
Quote unquote dealing.
When they found the Osprey and recovered it, they recovered that too. And the combat data, which combat data in Gundam is basically the same as a Zenkai boost in Dragon Ball. It's like, the gore of the best thing ever. The combat data was very interesting, and they said, hey, we do not have the parts or supplies to supply you with another RX-79, another brand new Gundam. Let's soup up and repair your original mech into something called the RX-79G EZ8. Why is it called EZ8? Any guess? EZ8 is short for Extra 08, which stands for 8th MS Team. That's it. But besides the big changes is its internals are almost entirely the exact same as a normal RX-79. The chest armor received a major upgrade. The plating was made using two Zaku 2 shoulder shields welded together. I'm not sure if you can tell by looking at it. And it can flip open for easy maintenance. So they kind of just welded Zaku parts into this thing. Beyond that, which allows it to take it, it's pretty much just covered in an extended layer of armor. And the only thing it really lost were the Vulcan cannons, which were removed because they just deemed it unnecessary. And one of the things that's really fascinating to me is I brought up that you can tell something's a Gundam because it has that signature V on its head, whether it's a golden or a white V, right? The V was replaced with a head antenna just because it got damaged. But basically the EZ-8 is just a more heavily armor-plated RX-79 that's a little bit souped up, and its performance is actually nearly just identical to the base RX-79. So
now with extra plot armor?
Now with literal extra plot armor.
Plot armor, yeah.
Which
That's a good way of putting it.
we may not be as useful, but if you look at the stats of it, it has the same 35mm machine gun, it has the same Vulcan. It's missing a chest Vulcan, but it just can take a few more hits than the rest of them, as we'll see in the ensuing episodes. But it is the same mech. It's Shiro's mech from the prior episodes. Really, really cool. But we get to see them encounter the pilot of this Ga, who I do not have the name, but Shiro lets him go. And that may
after jumping on top of the cockpit.
Right, yeah.
Extremely Shiro move.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Very Pikachu of him.
Very Pikachu.
Yeah. But then it turns out Yuri's waiting for that transport.
Yeah, those are
which
Yuri's, man.
is cool.
Which I'm not sure if you can tell.
Action hero Zeke.
Yeah, they're coming from Odessa.
Yeah. Interesting thing when Karen lands, though, they have the chutes, but then as it gets they have retro rockets that fire as well, which I thought was interesting. Of like the chute slows you down, and then right before you land, the rockets are like, "All right, don't break your legs, and down."
Yeah. So if y'all remember the intro, there's a little bit of that in the intro of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before they land every time. Yeah. And Karen has this nice little moment of like, oh yeah, the world's beautiful. It's good to be alive.
Crab mech, head punch.
Just jumped.
All right. So, do you guys want a name or do you want to talk about it first?
It's Crab Mech. Its name is Crab Mech.
So its name is not Crab Mech. That mobile suit is called the
Head Crusher Henry.
It is called the
Zaku
Guy. You can see it right there.
Crab Mech.
It is actually the same one.
Zaku.
Well, there may be something closer to a crab later, but it is an amphibious mobile suit. You guys saw it actually last episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
Zeon experimental amphibious mobile suit. It has a Vulcan gun. It has iron nail, which is its claws. It actually has a mega particle cannon on some of them, and it has a missile launcher. But it is not as armament heavy as a Gundam or even a Zaku.
It doesn't need to be. Ambush, head crush, done.
Yes. So it destroys her head cannon. I'm gonna avoid talking about the Akai in detail just because I think you'll see some more fascinating things in other series. But this thing immediately is puts up some trouble for Karen, who either because she's
just
distracted,
bodies her.
Yeah. Elidor makes an interesting choice then, where he's just like, all right, trigger happy Trevor,
go in,
run, draw the fire, and I'm gonna go stand behind the gun and try to aim it.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I had it down in my notes. He hops literally on the physical gun, and he's like, "Yeah, Karen, your cameras are all out. The camera on your gun, so there is a camera on their beam rifle. You can't even aim through that, and your head cannons cameras are out." She's basically going in blind. I'm going to tell you where to shoot. We have like 20 seconds before this thing rearms and is able to fire at us. You're just gonna have to trust me as I'm giving you degree measurements and go. And it manages to work out, but is something fascinating. Manual targeting. Completely manual targeting. The Gundams are manual targeted.
Why is that fascinating?
Why is that fascinating?
That would be assumed that you would have manual control over whatever thing you are piloting.
Yeah, obviously you have manual control, but like no auto or machine targeting, if you haven't noticed at any point.
Well, I would assume that would go hand in hand with the cameras.
Yeah, considering they're in the chest and not actually in the head.
So they are, but if you've noticed, it's the thing I keep hinting to with the reticles here. Every single time they point a Gundam at something, the human has to physically move and make that target. The machine in any of these battles cannot auto-target anything. You'd think they'd have that, right?
That seems like a design flaw.
It seems like a design flaw, but
why wouldn't... Okay, new mech design. It's a porcupine covered in auto PDCs.
rolls around like the ones from the Tom Cruise.
No,
movie.
it just waddles out onto the battlefield, and if you get near it, 17 different autocannons swirl at you and go...
But yeah, either the sensors on this thing are not able to do it. The fact that what I was getting to is the fact that her cannons are out means like, yeah, this thing cannot acquire a target or fire on its own. It has to be aimed at and pulled the trigger the same way you would do with an AR or a pistol or anything.
With and gun.
Yeah, with and gun. But they managed to take it out with the single blast there and regroup, right?
Not before Mikhail just continues to drive off onto the water, even though the Zaku's very much dead.
Yeah, we cut to commercial with him just screaming and driving on the lake.
Him screaming and driving, and then a little bit before, Elidor's made up his mind. He's like, I like muscle mommies. You're going to be my new wife, Karen. To which he just like deadpans, which is a little funny.
Oh, yeah. Right after he's like, I think I pissed myself.
But we meet up at the camp, and Yuri and the officer from before are like meeting up. I wish I had his name. I do not have his name. He is such a cool dude. He's the coolest Zeke I think we've met so far, besides Yuri himself. That Gaw captain.
Yeah, I never got a name.
No clue.
Yeah, I mean,
and
talking about the Magella attack team.
The Magella attack team. I think we can wait a few minutes till we get to the point, but what do you guys think of the Magella attack team? They're animated and look like really sympathetic and human here, right?
Yeah, no, I like these things.
It's great.
For now.
I have my notes of like all the Zeons are caring for their own forces, and then a minute later, oh no, never mind, they're bad again.
Yeah, well, they're bad again when Herr Doctor shows up and just starts poisoning his own men with extra strength meth.
Yes,
that's true.
Next episode.
Also, Miles, I'm holding my tongue on that monstrosity that's behind him for now.
Yeah, we have a few more minutes till we get to it, but yeah,
my guy Yuri knows those tanks are shit at least.
Yeah. Well, the Magella attack is a machine that I am ready here to answer any questions you have about here today.
I don't have questions. I have notes.
Well, they have their like their little moment here of like, Yuri cares about his boys. He cares about his neighbors.
Yes.
Cares for the team.
Surprise.
Yeah.
For Zeons.
And as the Zeeks are talking, we cut back to the main group, and they manage to get the camera back up on Karen's beam rifle, and she's basically out of commission for the rest of this episode, as they're like, yeah, we're gonna have you just walk back using the camera on your beam rifle. Is really cool that the cameras on all of these suits are like super modular, right? Like you can just pull up a screen wherever you need it to go. Yeah. And after that,
tank fight.
Almost at tank fight. Almost at tank fight. Since you just brought the Mad Doctor, so Good Girl,
Aina.
I almost forgot her name. Good Girl Aina is walking into this medical base, and there's some kid who's like, hey, I'm like weirdly drowsy. Can I help you carry these supplies? And she's like, please, no, don't. And the doctor's like, yeah, dude, you shouldn't. And then he drops them, and then we see that apparently
drugs.
McGillis's forces are running off of what may as well just be hillbilly heroin and not getting proper care.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Give them the drugs so they can work more.
Well, clearly it's not helping with our friggin' dude here that can barely lift, more than 80 pounds. Couldn't friggin' work.
He's having fun.
Well, that's Guineas is kind of up against the wall of mad scientist projects where it's like, hey, someone told you to stop and you said you're not going to stop, so now we're coming in to stop you. Everybody, work as fast as you can. The thing I built can stop them from stopping me.
Well, I mean, it's a little subtle, but if you can't tell, Yuri's like entire thing here is like, dude, we lost. Whatever happened at Odessa must have been big, and he's like, dude, we're running out of budget.
Yeah.
Give up on your stupid experiment with the
Well, he's also said, like, Guineas is like, I can't expose my location. He's like, dude, they're outside. Like, let us in so we don't die, please.
Yes.
Like, please open the door before they kill us. I can't reveal my position. But the men. Fuck the men.
That's where Guineas is like, not if I kill them first, as he's looking at his own men.
All right. Well, for Tom, as our GAW captain takes off in it, we got to talk about the signature Zeon tank that you will see throughout the Gundam franchise. And one of the things that pisses Tom off, the Magella attack. I believe there is only one main variant. I say that knowing there are certainly other ones.
There's one main variant because after they made it, they realized this is the dumbest thing we've ever created, and we created the DOP. Why did we think that we could fire this cannon even once without completely shearing off we'll call it a neck joint on our tank?
So I sent him this screenshot from the original Gundam from a scene y'all will see later. But the big thing with the Magella attack is it has a 175mm cannon. It has a 3-barrel 35mm machine gun, but the top half of the machine comes off and turns into an aerial vehicle. It turns into
no fucking way.
The term aerial vehicle is doing a lot of work there.
It
looks so fucking stupid.
It's more like they
on the
turned.
cabinet, but Jesus.
Oh my god.
It's more like they turned the Russian sport of turret toss into like a legitimate Olympic event of like, if we put a jet on the bottom of turret will go farther when someone hits our magazine and blows the entire thing. I hate this thing so much.
This makes me angry.
But tank fight.
Yeah, so just to piss you off even more.
And mines.
Just to piss you off a little bit more, something we will not be getting to yet, but we will certainly at some point. This is a very 70s design. Here it is, rendered in super high fidelity, realistic detail from a recent Gundam project.
How did I miss that?
It is not going.
How did I miss that?
You will see this soon.
I mean, I only watched like 3 episodes of this when you told me to check it out. But I definitely saw this thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
how did I miss this abomination?
We're gonna get to this at some point. I forgot I told you to watch that. Shoot.
This has got to be heresy.
But yeah, the Magella attack is a fascinating machine. It is, I'd say, weaker than the Federation equivalent, which is
also an abomination of double-barreled nonsense.
Well, 2 barrels better than
If one gun is good, why not add more gun?
The Type 6, we talked about last time, the Type 61, which is the Earth Federation counterparts to the Magella attack. No, it does not have a top part that turns off into a weapon.
As we take the orc logic of more DACA equal more DACA.
But Tom, you had thoughts about this battle scene as we have Shiro and Sanders kicking off versus the tanks. Yeah. Give us your thoughts.
This encounter, right up until the moment Shiro has plot armor and just runs at him with a beam sword, this is all of my arguments against mechs. Okay. Of you walked into it, we knew you were there, you walked into a place, you stepped on a mine, now your expensive mobile suit is reeling, you try to escape, kneecapped And now you're incapacitated. He's just permanently laid out for the rest of the fight.
Yeah. Well,
One shot and one mine
I'm not
takes
sure.
out an entire mobile suit. Also, buried tanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's what you do. You had like the tank. You are in an in-place position. You bury down, get into that lower position, cover it with camouflage. You wait for the dude, and blam. Like, yeah, we've seen the mobile suits do it like crouching or like laying kind of in the jungle, but
they
tanks
got a
are
tank
already
under
a
there.
lower profile. Like they did exactly what they should be doing, and then smoke and moving in formation, like proper retreat while like this was all of my arguments for tanks against mobile suits. And then Shiro has plot armor and wins.
Well, I really love this shot here of Shiro slamming the shield into the ground because Sanders wasn't able to react fast enough, and Shiro was clearly a little bit of a better pilot. Slamming
Sanders got a mine to the heel. That's why he got shot.
And if you noticed in episode 10, which we'll get to in just a little bit, when things really pop off, they did not have time to fully repair it. The chute's leg is still damaged. In episode 10 to some degree. It's still a little weak. And then, yeah, the tanks pull out and start retreating into the jungle as Shiro and this guy are having this conversation over open comms.
Yeah. I did love their conversation. It was just like,
literal,
hey, thanks for saving me.
I love the captain of the Gao, or like the Zeke dude, is just being like, and just being like, I'll use psychological warfare.
And Shiro's like, but you're a cool dude. And he's like, yeah, to be honest, you're a pretty cool dude too. But this is the situation we're in.
That's what I have down here is like, hey, you're a cool guy. I don't want to kill you. Well, thanks for not killing me, but I'm totally going to kill you. Eat lead!
Just think fast, chuckle nuts.
And before the scene ends, just smack dab in the middle of it, because it's Gundam. We have cutaways. We have Aina and her brother in the hallway, which I don't remember the conversation they had, but the closest thing that I can equivalent to is Guineas, her being like, Guineas, please stop, and he just goes, and then just sneaks off down this big Zeon.
Pretty much. I just have Aina pleading.
Bro, please stop.
She does that a lot, these episodes,
Yeah.
That's her costume even changed. She's not Aina the test pilot in this. She's Aina the socialite, and they're two very different people who serve very different roles and have very different levels of agency.
Well, yeah, you've never seen them in the same room together, have you?
No.
Well,
She may be a secret twin.
He does make the kind of awkward observation in the prior episode. They're siblings, but he's like, "Oh, you're dressing a little bit more feminine than usual," and she's like, kind of weirded out, and he's like, "All right," and she's like, "All right, well." Back to just wearing normal clothes because he is slowly degrading. I just love that technically this is all Shiro's fault because him falling in love with Aina made Guineas miss his meds one time, which apparently those meds have sent him down the biggest doom spiral there has ever been in anything. Which is like, not necessarily his fault, but yeah, it kind of is. And he carries on down this hallway after Sister maniacally laughs, and then while Sanders is down in the mud, Shiro has his last minute, like, I'm gonna bet you moment where he slices the top half of the Magella attack apart in the air, and then we get our nice little laugh moment when it turns out, the captain made it out alive, and then he gives him this little like salute from the cannon. I don't know where this camera actually is mounted for him to see this. It's a big probably don't think about it.
It's in the plot hole?
Yeah, it's in the plot hole. It's mounted on some tree nearby or something, but I love
exactly.
I love the mutual respect of like, all right, buddy, that was a good fight, and Shiro being like, oh, that's my guy. That's my nigga right there. He's scared for Zeon. We gotta drink later. Which unfortunately does not come.
Yeah, and then we have Guineas torturing the Yuri's secretary.
Yep.
With the hair doctor's medicine, I'm assuming.
So we were I brought it up the other day. Someone on Twitter brought up that now NyQuil is selling just liquid pain relief, which is certainly going to lead to the worst lean teenagers are going to be chugging. That I called pain
hell
quill.
yeah.
But I've
that's gonna cause some emergency room visits.
Kenny, if it's fine for me to bring it up, you've worked in hospitals before.
Not really, but yeah.
How bad is the how bad can
Like, I mean, in my opinion, that's just normal. There's a lot of flu meds that have a lot of pain relievers. It's kind of normal.
Gotcha,
so for me, that's a nothing problem, I guess.
Gotcha.
They're just now combining two meds into the same, I guess. So
Gotcha.
yeah. Or I guess liquid form would be easier, but I don't know. That's just me.
Understood. I was just saying, I like to think that whatever Guinness is using on his soldiers and now using to drug Yuri's secretary is
Black cherry lean.
is just friggin' pain quill
and Kool-Aid.
He drugged her with pain quill and Kool-Aid and got her to reveal information, and we have the tragedy of one of the saddest scenes, I think, in at least the Gundam OVAs. I shouldn't say that.
Yuri went to the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Yuri and Gaw Captain and their poor lieutenants, who I forget their names, are wandering into this.
Doesn't matter.
And
Their names are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
They're cave paintings now.
the door shuts, and then Guinness comes on the friggin' audio, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not shutting down my research, bro." And he's like, "Dr. Mingles, how could you betray me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I tortured your details out of your assistant by drugging her with the pain quill." Which is on the table next to her along with needles, which is super dark and very messed up. And he's like, "Gotta kill you, bro." And we get the moment that has stuck in my head since I was little and saw it. Guinness screaming at the top of his lungs. Yuri screaming at the top of his lungs, "Guinness!" and then blowing up in the tunnel, which is a moment I always
Which also, ironically, immediately gives his position away to the Federation. Like, Shiro immediately cut away to Shiro noticing that explosion and being like, "Huh, I wonder what's in that mountain."
and that's where they get it in the next episode.
It was in that mountain. We're like,
But yeah. Any final thoughts on this episode as we now know where the Zeke base is in the mountains? And
Give me more tank fights.
yeah, tank fights are cool. Perhaps you'll see more. Perhaps that Magella attack tome is a bit more iconic than we even know right now. Well, than I know. And you'll see more. But as we close episode 9, Frontline, we enter the final one of our batch today, the Shuddering Mountain Part 1, Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS Team, Episode 10. It's time to get goofy, boys. How do you want to start this?
Dude, Norris is my guy.
finally
This
a
episode goes
real
fucking
sword.
hard.
Yeah, this episode goes hard.
I think I texted you just, "This is what I came for, more of this, more of this."
Yeah.
More of this. Give me more of this.
So we open up with a full-on onslaught on the mountain now that friggin' Guinness gave away his position, and we just see core boosters flying away. That now I guess Guinness is the highest ranking commander of this portion of Zeon that is now fighting the Earth Federation here. And they're
Stupid turtle shell fighter.
core booster. They're trying to get in. There's a big animation quality jump immediately, just in terms of like extra frames.
Yeah.
They're animating on, I believe, 1s for a good portion of this rather than 2s, which this means more detailed movement for people.
This was a good portion of their frame budget.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a 2-parter, but we learned that the Osprey, we now get to see the Osprey 3, which is the new machine, which
I don't think we haven't seen it yet. I don't think.
No, not yet.
At the end of the episode, that's what they're flying.
We're at the end of the episode. We're at the beginning of the
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, no,
No.
yeah, we're moving,
Okay, cool.
we're moving through it slowly
Miles.
because next up,
We have to
Miles,
talk about Operation Star 1. Jesus.
Yes, all right, let's get to it.
Big man,
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Big man Blastoise, big man Blastoise,
Um, we
Blastoise.
get to see Norris piloting a brand new mech, which I'm not going to tell y'all about now, even though I think this is the cooler introduction of it. It will come up later.
I thought that was just like Norris's private mech because he's an ace.
So,
Yeah.
do you think that is a Zaku?
I mean, it has a Zaku head.
That
Uh,
is no Zaku, my boy.
Fuck.
it's
That
a
ma-
goof.
That machine is called the Goof.
Oh man.
G-O-U.
I'm about to goof on you.
It is 18.7 meters tall. It is
It's dope.
blue. It has a
Selfish fuck.
whole bunch of different weaponry that is far different than the Zaku, despite looking like a Zaku. And we are not going to go into details today. When the next time
It's got a grapple hook and a sword, and it can take planes out of the sky. That's all you need to know. It's
And it's done with said grapple.
yes,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. It is a stun grapple
yes,
that comes later.
Why is it gotta be called the Goof, bro?
Goof tree.
Damn it.
Yeah, the aura lost. It's so bad.
And
Gone.
then
Out
we've
the
got
window.
this weird, like, squished
Head.
red. Yeah, plus head. That's a good name. Plus
Oh.
head.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Since we're getting into that,
Miles, we came for the giant robots, and we're finally
Yeah.
seeing some cool giant robots.
Yeah,
We're
so-
going to be talking about them.
that machine's name. Well, we have the Goof. We have the Zakus, which are the green ones we've seen the whole time. The Zaku 2s. We have the MS-07B3 Goof, and Goof Custom is specifically what Norris is piloting. And we have the Dom.
Of course.
Oh, these
MS-09
fucking names.
Dom, which is another mass-produced suit. I did not lie when I said Zakus were the only ones. If there are 1,000 Zakus, there are probably about 100 Doms. So that's about the ratio you're working at. But it is there are far more than 1,000. But yeah,
Yeah, that's. I mean, I assumed this was Norris and his elite squad of dudes.
Yeah.
I will not go into the details of the Dom because I think there is a far more better introduction to them here. This is kind of what's weird about starting with the 8th MS team, but it is a very cool suit that has some very cool questions to answers to Tom's questions of why not tanks in this world.
Because
that
they're
we're
wearing Heelys.
We'll get to that, but yeah, what do you think of our Goof troop here, as it takes out friggin' core boosters and numerous Federation armaments?
I'm not a huge fan of the Dom. I don't hate it. It's just, it's weird. The Goof's dope, though. I love the
Goof is
Goof.
dope. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Tom's kind of meh.
Spider-Manning through the air as it pulls onto that core booster.
Yeah, it was just awesome.
Norris is very good at his job. And as the episode continues, we see that our guys are in this little unnamed city off to the side where the battle has not arrived to yet, as Mikhail picks up some
And
details.
they brought friends.
Yeah.
Named Big Man Blastoise. Big Man Blastoise.
Oh yeah, so we can talk about it now. So Tom has been saying forever, like, why don't these things just have tank treads? And we get to see a machine that I and the
Oh, the
Gundam
gun tank?
community at all loves, which is the gun tank. The one specifically here is the RX-75 mass production type gun tank, but there is a big fan base regarding the gun tank, which you guys will not get now if you look in general. But
Okay, well, I'm gonna get some hate then.
okay, suffice to say, a lot of the Gundam fan base is very, very big fans of our friend, the gun tank here, specifically after Mobile Suit Gundam.
So I have technical question then.
Yes, sir.
This big orange section in the middle there, is that our Minovsky power generator?
So, I believe, yes, that is where it is, but that is not the core purpose of the gun tank. He's looking at it.
It's, I mean, my main questions are, why give it a cockpit and arms at all, except because lol finger guns. But that big section, like, it could already swivel if you split it into two, so you don't need this little orange middle section, except just because orange and blue are contrasting colors. Like, if that was where the power core. Yeah, the power core was, and it required that much space, and you had to like separate it like that, that would make sense. That would justify it to me, but that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, Big Man Blastoise, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That's just vibes. Just all the vibes.
Big Man gun tank.
Fucks with it.
Gun tank sweep, my guy. Everybody loves the gun tank. When gun tank's not on the screen, you should be asking, where is gun tank? I love this thing. I think this is one of those things that we're going to have to get into later on, just for answers to things not being weird. But suffice to say, it is the top half of a mech that has 2 twin low recoil cannons. On its arms, and then 2 quadruple gun launchers on its shoulders. And it is purely for doing damage on the battlefield, moving behind the Gundam. Specifically, it appears in terrain that is better for like city combat and streets. But what a marvelous machine. I wish we could talk more about it now, but
I mean, those barrels are so long.
yes.
Like, I feel like the backpack is less recoil and more just a counterweight for how really long those barrels are.
Well, reading the wiki, it is a heavy artillery base assault and fire support unit.
Yeah, no, that's what I assumed.
This thing
definitely looks like it.
Is meant to be alongside Gundams and GMs. Or GMs, as we talked the last time. Probably not great for operating on its own, as we see, if I may fire back with Tom as we get into the fight of this scene proper. Very, very less maneuverable than a Gundam, as we see, or than a mobile suit, than an MS, as we see Norris just take out a number of these.
Well, yeah, because he's clearly a badass. Like, that's not fair.
Will we also...
That's like, hey, house cats ain't shit because a lion can eat 7 of them in 10 seconds.
But do you think that perhaps something having legs and the ability to move around specifically above things in 3-dimensional space, especially in a world where things have to, for some reason, target manually, would be a whole lot more useful than something that is base on the ground with treads?
I mean, yeah, you have advantages and disadvantages, but this is also assuming that you have a fully articulating hip joint.
No. Well, we keep on going in the episode. And we get to see Kojima and Ryer again, and they say something again as I'm tickling the mystery that we have keeping going on in the show. As these GMs are entering the base back here on the Federation side, this is about 4 minutes and 12 minutes into episode 10. They mention the phrase, looks like they're flooding the area with Minovsky particles. We can't get a good read on them. Now, did we reveal it last time?
Yes. We kind of talked about it.
Yeah. Thoughts on that?
Checks out.
So yeah, it's more sci-fi hand-waving, jamming behavior. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
My note here was that the 7th team looked like they didn't, like, the 8th team has like new stuff, like the paint's not chipped and everything. Like the 7th team looked like they have hand-me-downs.
Oh yeah. If I'm right, the 7th team is that girl and that other guy that were making fun of them too, and they're now gone.
Oh.
Yeah, but they were in GMs.
Yeah.
Also,
they don't have Gundam.
Yeah, And then I think it's Ryer who's just like, hey, let's maybe just like nuke the mountain and pretend it was an accident.
Just take out the entire mountain.
Yeah, let's just melt down a reactor and be like, oops. I guess we win now.
So that does also confirm a theory that you had last time, Tom, that you said that these things will go nuclear if they're blown up.
Yeah,
kind of way. And we actually get to see Karen too say before that she's like, hey, I'll shoot its reactor if from this angle, as she's about to get killed by a Dom a little bit later on in the episode, but
yeah,
survives luckily. But yeah, any thoughts about Kojima and Ryer here too, and their discussions at all?
I mean, Ryer's deep state, man.
Oh, okay.
Like, but he seems more like a politician than a general. I think it's right here where he mentions someone else and like they only need results, or like I can't look bad in front of them.
Something to that nature, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he seems more like someone who's like, my military career is a stepping stone to my colony governorship in 2024. Like,
it's there for results.
Yeah.
His name is Eason Ryer. To pull it up right now, he is do we have his rank? He was regimental commander of the Earth Federation Forces Far Eastern Front, and Kojima is an Earth Federation's officer. We do not actually know what rank he is, I believe, right now. I can't find it, at least, but Kojima definitely is a step below Ryer, as Ryer is, like, basically just in charge of this whole op, as he's like, I think we need to nuke this. I think we need to just nuke this Guineas.
What if we just take out the mountain?
Yeah.
That would require nukes. Hey, yo.
If they won't use them.
Think about it.
Yeah.
That's when you mentioned that Antarctica Treaty, I figured no nukes would be part of that.
Do you think that is what the Antarctica Treaty is?
No, I just if it was Geneva Conventions, that's probably in it.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning towards Geneva Conventions for the Antarctic Treaty.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, keep smiling.
Or first or most recent peace deal after this war reignited.
Mm-hmm.
This last peace deal divided basically like East and West Berlin. Like, here, you guys get the Americas, we're gonna take like Europe and Africa, and then we'll bicker over Asia, and we'll flip a coin for Australia.
Gotcha.
Like,
well,
I do have to amend my opinion of the Dom though, because then we cut back to just Karen getting bodied again, and this thing's melee weapon is just a giant bar of superheated metal. I love that.
Yeah, so
it's just a big stick that gets hot. Eat it.
Do I want to talk to y'all about that? We'll bring it up right now. 1 second. So the Dom's main weapon is... So if you remember back that Zaku's used the Heat Hawk, which is instead of a beam saber, it is a superheated edge of an axe, pretty much, of a tomahawk.
Yeah, and this dude's like, just give me a big lump of iron. I'm gonna make a stick.
Hot.
Yeah. The Dom uses a heat saber, which is the Dom's main close combat weapon. It uses thermal energy to heat its blade to high temperature to melt through the armor of an enemy vehicle. It has an electrical discharge function that can store high charges via the application of Minovsky particle physics. As the heat saber degrades during use, it is discarded after usage. So you get, once you heat that thing up, it's like, all right, better use it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also love it. It wasn't sharp at the front. It's not like a sword. It's a blunt.
It's a bar.
It's a bar. It's like Smoker Sword from One Piece.
Like, I imagine a factory somewhere just spitting out 10-foot rods of
steel,
just calling them swords.
There's just this one machine that's just and just like piles of Zeke swords.
Yeah.
I love that thing though.
Just a Miles thing, just because I love this episode's animation, and as the biggest fanboy of the EZ8 Easy 8. Easy 8. I love this little... Yes, this moment of him, like, stealth of Shiro in his Easy 8, which I know is literally just a RX-79, but I will call it the Easy 8, damn it, 'cause that's what it is. Just stealth taking out the Zaku behind cover, and then taking a minute to talk. The Zaku looks over, it goes to react, and then he just blows its head open with his 58mm machine gun right here, which is so cool to me. My little mech boy heart just loves these little like tactical details when Gundams are not just like being stiff in combat. When they're leaning up against things. Like that, it looks really cool. And the clip falling out's cool too. And the clip loads directly from the side, which is cool. It I don't know. I love it. Mag, whatever. And Karen, as she's getting teased by, has a GM head after her suit was messed up last time.
Yeah, and then she just keeps getting bodied.
Yeah, she, in terms of...
She's not doing great this episode.
Let me ask, where's your, of the 8th MS team, excluding our two hover tank boys, who's your ranking of best pilots, best versus worst pilots here?
I'd probably put, excluding Pikachu, I'd probably put Sanders at number 1.
We can use Pikachu.
Yeah, I mean, Ensign Pikachu definitely is number 1 pilot.
Yeah,
he's got a strong case with his plot armor, and he does have unorthodox tactics, but in typical 90s cartoon fashion, that works out for him.
Actually works out better for him, honestly.
Yeah, Sanders has the role of competent, but gets messed up by tricks or new technology. Like a new enemy will trip him up. He's the one who's going to give us that exposition of what it can do, and then Shiro's going to go fight it. I don't know what's up with Karen right now. Like, she's just kind of in this episode existing to be like getting beat up.
Otter?
Well, she gets saved by our boy, the gun tank. She doesn't even get saved by a mobile suit too. So she's having an off day. She's having a stressful time.
Yeah.
A part of me wonders if it's like maybe the anniversary of her like husband's death, and that's what's messing her up, because she was praying in the prior episode.
Yeah, I mean, she had a rough drop.
Yeah. But we cut away before we get to it of the man himself, the nigga, the king himself, Norris, arriving, sipping his coffee in this awesome chiaroscuro, like black, dark and shadow highlighted shot of him just talking with this little Zeke engineer kid, and then he gets called daddy by Aina.
That's literally what I have down as Norris. You'd call me daddy? Oh shit, I gotta go die for you now. I gotta go. Like, that's basic. Like, he's like, you think of me as a father? Oh, all right. I'm gonna go hold the line, baby.
Yeah, I got purpose. Can't let baby grow down.
I mean, he finds his Spartan death, man. He finds Shiro, and he's just like, hey, kid, make it a good one.
Yeah, he has his. If you I know a few of you watch Naruto. There's a point when Hashirama and Madara come back, and Madara sees Hashirama, and he's like, let's fucking go. He's like, that's my old homie from back in the day before we died. And then he's like, no, we can't fight yet. But he's so excited. Norris is so excited, like Madara, in that moment to friggin' fight these guys, as we see him just jobber on these poor gun take pilots.
He's here to just eat snacks.
He's saucing on them, yeah.
Including this one poor guy.
Yeah. Okay. So this move with this first gun tank made me immediately just Norris is my guy, because Sanders is the experienced dude. He's like, I got him. He's gonna fall. He's got to be right here. But dude wraps his grapple around the water tower or something
water tower.
Stop his momentum, just like when you can't see him, and then he's just machine gun onto the first gun tank. I'm out.
And they call, obviously it's,
man has moves.
It's a known word. They call him an ace, and they're specifically like almost like a power level thing. If this were Dragon Ball, they're like, oh yeah, this dude is
in ace. I mean, it checked out. Look at him.
And we get what I call the show. When people talk about the show, and a lot of people actually kind of don't like the show, there's a lot more that do, but there's a lot of people that are like, the 8th MS team, it's a really popular one that real Gundam fans don't like. It's a stupid conversation, but one of the shots everyone has talked about since everyone saw this on Toonami, on Cartoon Network back in the day, is him stabbing this gun tank, and then the grease and oil pops out, and it looks like blood, and he twists the blade, and it's so cool. I call that the shot number one. There's another one a little bit later, but it's
certainly a money shot, all right.
We get to see our 8th MS team get jobbed on by these guys. But before that, something I saw rewatching this earlier today. I'm not sure if you guys see this. Guineas in the team when he has the Jonestown drink party.
Yeah.
God damn.
In the background, it appears the Osprey, fourth from the bottom there, runs on the DirectX SDK. As in Microsoft DirectX.
That's great.
It has a whole bunch of numbers there in the background, but if you go to about 14 minutes and 2 seconds in, there's a bunch of numbers on this digital screen, this display, and DirectX SDK is one of like the software modules that is powering the Osprey, and I think that may just be something left in by the animators, or if they just needed a name. Did DirectX exist in 1998? Who knows? But what do y'all think of the poisoning scene?
Typical.
Damn.
I mean, everyone was sipping the wine, and then it was like, as soon as the one dude started coughing, I was like, well, they're fucking dead.
And it's funny because we see that even though he's doing this, Guineas himself is not in the best shape. He is
he looks like shit.
Yeah. He needed to be taking the meds.
So, I mean, we go back to the fight and then we come back to this, but I love his outro here, where we come back and it's just Snow Crash TV, a bunch of dead people on the floor. And he's like, well, gotta clean up after myself, and drops a grenade in a wine glass.
And walks away from it Power Ranger style as the big red explosion explodes out into the hallway.
Just absolute crazy bastard, and I love it.
Oh man, he's losing it. But yeah.
Like, if there was ever a live action, like whoever plays Guineas would just have so much fun with the role, I feel like.
Oh yeah, well they're talking.
Like, you just have to lean into it so hard.
I guess Netflix has the rights, and I think John Voight Roberts is doing it, or I'm not sure if he's dropped out. But they cast the girl from here from Washington. They cast what's her name? The blonde who's in everything.
That's not helping.
That is so vague.
The one from Euphoria.
Bro, I watch anime.
I know who you're talking about. I couldn't get you the name though.
What's her name? Sydney Sweeney. They casted her, and I think I know who they're gonna do. But I would have preferred them to do the 8th MS team as an adaptation, because this is the one super grounded one before we get into things Tom is going to lose his mind about later. Anyways, we get back to the.
Are mobile suits insulated, like from electrical shocks?
Yes.
Okay, just because we're cutting power lines left and right in this fight.
yeah, that isn't going to be a problem for them. But this friggin' goof outmaneuvers this RX-79 in every sort of way. There's a clip of it running on like this like turnpike on this highway or this overpass, and it is moving super fast. And then we cut back to Shiro and the gun tank on the ground, and they're pretty much just trotting by as this thing just friggin' jobs on everyone. And it seems to be like way physically stronger than even other things, because we see it lift up this piece of the roof, lift up the piece of the overpass and try dropping it on Shiro here, and it is
Yeah, Shiro's kind of just panicking in the first half of this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be too.
Yeah, I mean, you just watch this man take out all of your support with barely, like, not even really dealing with your friends. Just being like, you are not worth my time. You're not the objective.
And just going for the gun tanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I love this little shot of him walking up like friggin' full-on bully style, menacingly around like 15 minutes 9 seconds of him like, dude, I do not have time.
in my notes I have that bit down as kneel before Zod.
Yes.
Kneel before Zod.
And it's weird because Norris has seemed like the most like down to earth Zeke besides the other ones.
No, he revels in blood.
Well, I mean, I think he is not normally. I think he's just as talented. I don't think he's normally like this. He's just like, you know what?
Yeah, this is his. Yeah, it's his Butch and Sundance blaze of glory.
Yeah,
like he's pulling out all the stops, all the tricks, full adrenaline run. Let's go.
Other cool thing. On the big machine gun, arm-mounted machine gun cannon that Goof has, dope. It is partially a friggin' shield as he friggin' uses it in this charge towards Shiro, knocking him down to the ground. And he's got it. We already covered the sword itself. We get the other shot, which I always bring up, as I call just the shot number 2, when the show comes up, as Shiro is screaming Aina's name out and is like, I'm gonna marry her.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. That was wild.
And what's great about it is that Norris is like, wait, it's you? Alright, this is gonna be a great fight, bro.
Yeah.
Right. As he rips his own arm off and beats him with it.
That was fantastic.
We do get he has his Nico Robin I want to live moment, but something to think about here too. Their comms are not open. For most of this fight, they cannot hear each other. The Magella attack episode, their comms were open. When he was talking to the tanks, but mobile suit to mobile suit throughout Gundam, they cannot hear each other unless they explicitly say it. Why can he suddenly hear him when he hits him with the arm? Why can Shiro suddenly hear Norris here when he smacks him with the arm?
Well, obviously, Minovsky
radio contact.
You think it's Minovsky?
No, I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were in radio contact the whole time.
Nah, so they cannot hear each other normally. They can totally hear each other under certain circumstances, but I don't want to give that away yet. But as he is holding Shiro's mech up by the head, we have our
that was great.
Yeah.
Just using him for a shield.
Right.
Our little final confrontation here, smacking off the arm, and poor Norris gets sliced in half, and that is the end of Norris. But
he still accomplished his objective. He got all the gun tanks.
That he did.
You got to take out the most deadly thing on the battlefield first. As our new machine, he stalled for enough time. Our new machine, the Osprey 2, rises from the mountains, and we get this weird moment where it like just destroys a large portion of the battlefield and some GMs out in front.
And have we seen that it has beam weaponry? Or is that new?
We talked about this before. Yeah, he has the Osprey.
Okay, it was in the testing ground.
Yeah. Good you're paying attention to what has beam weaponry and what doesn't. And I love, there's just this weird moment, I'm not sure if it's the same in the sub, I didn't watch that recently, of Guineas like watching this destruction happen. He's like, it's sweet.
Yeah, he's losing it, dude.
Yeah. But the Osprey is free, Norris is down. The 8th MS team is down a few mechs, or at least injured. Sanders' damn leg is still injured. And we get our moment of him, Shiro, looking at the mountain saying, I'm leaving the service, guys. as we get not to be continued, but to be conducted.
I loved that. I laughed a solid 20 seconds.
That's pretty good.
That is some real all your base are belong to us level translation.
Right.
Do you think it's a mistranslation? I thought it was like to be like this operation is to be conducted. Like this is gonna.
No.
You think?
No, there's no way. That has to be a mistranslation or a misloc. Like, maybe they're trying to say something like that, but it does not come across. It comes across as an error.
Gotcha.
And a funny one.
Okay. I think that's what we have for here today.
More mech fights, Miles.
More mech fights.
More tank fights. More tanks beating up mechs.
My friend, I can deliver you that. So I had research prepared, but it was on the gun tank, and we pretty much covered that. Does anyone here have any questions about anything in particular, since we're about 20 minutes early from the end? Just on anything before we go. Where do you think? Because we have, I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know right now. Here's a big spoiler. We have one more episode of events before things are done. The Shuddering Mountain Part 2 is pretty much going to be the end of this story, and then we get something else with the latter episode of this show. Any predictions on where this battle is going to go? Who is going to win? Who is going to die, if anything? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Federation will drop a nuke? Do you think Guineas is going to blow up everybody and win the war for Zeon?
Or Guineas is definitely going to die.
Yeah.
He's,
I feel like Ensign Pikachu's got too much plot armor to die. Although a serious injury wouldn't be too out of the question. I can, for some reason, see that happening. Him just doing something stupid.
Gotcha.
I'll see your Ensign Pikachu getting injured and raise you. He puts himself, like, recklessly takes the shot kind of thing, and Sanders returns the ball favor and takes the shot for him. Like Sanders dives in front of the bullet, mech style. Shiro still gets the shot off and saves the day as Guineas burns up in an Ark of the Covenant wax face melting style explosion.
God, I hope so.
Guineas and Aina are in the same mech. Do you think Aina's gonna die?
Well, no, she has plot armor. She's
way too much plot armor.
Yeah, she's gonna get into a crash couch and eject, man. Like, come on, this is baby level checkoff.
This is a '90s anime. The two MCs need to have their happily ever after. Okay?
Yeah, like that's the way that you're going about this. Is I'm assuming that there's some kind of after the war thing, and
right. I've got a feeling.
Well,
she's gonna end up pregnant. Watch this.
No, because now I'm changing gears, and now I think that he's been leading us to believe that Karen and Elidor might have something to do after the war.
I think Karen's still in over her dead husband.
I will say,
yeah, but she's pining. She's not allowed to die. She's not over it yet.
I am giving you guys many red herrings along with good information. So
communism was just a red herring. But no, Karen's not over her husband. She's not allowed to die until she gets over her trauma. That's how it works.
Kenny, you got any thoughts?
I'm too used to previous series. Everyone's dying.
Yeah, so
everyone is dying.
I've been trying to keep my mouth shut about things. Gundam may Game of Thrones sometimes. You guys, Gundam may Game of Thrones sometimes.
That's how my brain's gonna be.
I don't think that they're Game of Thrones in us with this one, though.
Oh, you don't think?
Okay, so we just glass the planet, and then Aina in an epilogue is like, I wish you didn't kill my boyfriend, Oni-san.
Oni-san.
So, I've been very transparent about, for the most part, the 8th MS team does take place during a significant event in the Gundam universe. In this specific event, this is happening parallel to. What do you think the overarching point of this story is in relation to this world and things going on?
Besides that, war is bad.
War is bad. Shoot the gun over your head.
War is bad. Your enemy is people too. And your enemy always has the hottest chicks.
Absolutely.
That goes both ways. Zeke, the hottest chicks are on the Federation side. If you're Fetty, the hottest chicks are on the Zeke side. It's just how it works.
Yeah, the unknown is hot. The forbidden is tempting, you know? Any last things? I guess this is our pseudo wrap-up for the series. Episode 11 and 12 are it. What do you guys do? Do you guys like the first half or the second half? Do you like War for Two up through Battle Line in the Burning Sand, or do you like Reunion through what we've seen now of the Shuddering Mountain so far?
I like the giant robots.
I just meant in terms of like first half of the show or last half of the show with the two directors, since there is a clear split.
If we're covering the whole section, I mean, we haven't seen all of this latter half, but I do like the first section better. Okay. It's just this particular episode is the best one, but the first half of the season is better. But this episode is like so far head and shoulders above the rest of the season because things go boom, things get stabbed. All things. Mech go punch.
All things. Do y'all have any final thoughts on anything before we send off to the, and if just be conscious of the viewers at home about anything as we head towards our final 2 episodes of Gundam, the 8th MS team ever, next time?
Did we discuss that the Zeons come from the different side, right?
Oh, so they did say it in this episode. Yeah, that's why I was comfortable telling y'all earlier.
They also mentioned that the Zeons started the war, and if we hadn't heard it, they specifically called them the Duchy of Zeon.
Yeah, they called them the Duchy of Zeon, and I've called them the Republic of Zeon a few times. And the Principality of Zeon, too. The little mechanic who is hanging out, the little blonde mechanic boy who's hanging out with Norris in the early episode, he's like, hey, yeah, do you think we're going to be able to get back to Side 3 sometime soon? And that's why I was comfortable telling y'all that Zeon is...
Yeah, that's what was interesting, was they were all evacuating the planet.
Yeah. Well, I keep bringing it up. It seems like whatever happened at Odessa was like... very big.
It's a vapor bomb.
Well, they dropped the vaporization bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that kid is just so innocent looking. Just, golly gee, sir, do you think I'll make it out alive?
No.
Yeah.
Well, he had
also,
to be like...
There were so many troops marching into that mountain. Like, how much infantry traff does Zeon have, dude? Like, just so many foot soldiers.
All right.
It's a lot of beans.
Before we head off here today, just to tickle you guys' ears on what something could be, I have an image for you. It is from the wiki article on the Atlantic Treaty. They've talked about
different. Atlantic or
Antarctic. I'm friggin' stupid. The Antarctic Treaty. Would y'all like to see this image?
Would you like to show it to us?
I would love to show it to you. And just so we can end a little early, I'm going to put it in our chat in 3, 2, 1. Feel free to describe what you're seeing in that image.
Thanks for the smoke, Fetty.
Basically.
It looks like two sides doing peace talks.
They're clearly not trying to kill each other. So.
Just describe it a little bit, just because this is an audio podcast for the viewers at home.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 flags in the background. They don't...
That is Earth Federation.
It is Earth and Zeon flags?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, I assume what would be the Zeke soldier in Arctic gear with his little kraut helmet on the left. And then
The Fetty on the right.
Fetty on the right.
With the brown, getting the smoke from the guy.
Well, he's got a smoke and the Xeon's lighting it. So, I mean, I assume it's like, hey, thanks for not shooting me, buddy. Let's talk about this war. Or, because Miles is throwing us a shit ton of red herrings. Miles, how do you feel about putting my tinfoil hat on? We left Earth because of some kind of disaster, went into space colonies, and now we've returned to Earth, and these two are doing some kind of joint expeditionary first colony force. And this is when it all went bad, well, hey man, this isn't a good smoke. I hate you now. Punch, punch, shots fired, and now we're at war. I don't know. My tinfoil hat's on.
This is a historical photo. And just to read the caption, this is from Mobile Suit Gundam. Oh, it's the art book that I keep forgetting.
Is this our Gundam equivalent of Sykes-Picot?
What is Sykes-Picot?
Carving up Israel to exist.
You think that's what it is?
It's basically when Britain and Russia played chess with the Middle East and then decided, like, hey, these are different countries now.
That's a fascinating theory. Just to read the description below that. That is, Xeon soldier lights a cigarette for a Federation soldier in Antarctica during the signing of the Antarctic Treaty in UC 0079.
And what year are we in now?
UC 0079.
Okay. So this is happening simultaneously. Ish. I mean, a year's a big span. Well, no, because he mentioned...
Yes, he literally
like,
said...
damn you and your Antarctic treaty.
So, I mean, the treaties happened before we start threatening to accidentally nuke a mountain.
Believe so.
Okay, so it's not your joint expeditionary culinary tin hat force. I don't know, Miles. Let me put this baked potato in the oven for a couple weeks, and we'll come back with some stuff.
Yeah. So to finish off, we've got and I wish I had a lore video for y'all here, but it's fine. We can end off early. We are going to finish off our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, with episodes 11, The Shuddering Mountain Part 2, and episode 12, Last Resort. Gentlemen, it has been a great time. This is not going to be the end of Gundam by far. We got a long ways to go with many fascinating discussions. The next series I'm going to let you know is going to be Answers Gundam for some things. But for now, enjoy us next week for our recap with, once again, episode 11 and 12 of Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, the finale. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. See you next week. Stay in the call for a sec just so I can organize our time. But yeah, viewers at home, thank you for watching and have a great night.